Today we're going to break down one of the most iconic commencement speeches of our time, the one Steve Jobs gave at Stanford back in 2005. Seriously, it's this incredible distillation of a whole lifetime of wisdom, all packed into 3 powerful stories. So let's get right into it.
So this is how he kicked it off. No big, fancy introduction, no complicated ideas. He just said, hey, I'm going to tell you 3 stories. That's it. And that simple, kind of disarming approach is what makes the whole thing so powerful. It makes you just want to lean in and listen.
All right, so the first story. Now, you might expect it to start with some huge success, but it doesn't. It actually starts with what looked like a total failure, dropping out of college. This one is all about trusting the journey, even when you have absolutely no clue where you're headed.
Yeah, just 6 months in at Reed College, which was super expensive, by the way, Jobs just felt completely lost. He was burning through his parents' life savings and had no idea what he wanted to do. So he made this really scary call to drop out. He had no plan, no safety net, just a gut feeling that it would all work out somehow.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Because he wasn't tied to required classes anymore, he started just dropping in on whatever seemed cool to him. And one of those things was a calligraphy class. I mean, at the time, it had 0 practical use in his life. He just thought it was beautiful. But then, fast forward 10 years, and that random, useless knowledge became the secret sauce for the first Macintosh, giving the world beautiful fonts on a personal computer.
And that's the whole point, right? There was no way, back in that college classroom, he could have drawn a line from calligraphy to the future of computing. It's impossible. So the lesson is, you just have to trust in something. Your gut, your destiny, whatever. Trust that the dots will connect later on. You have to have faith in your own path.
Okay, on to the second story. And this one, wow. It's a real roller coaster. We're talking about massive success, then a crushing public failure, and the incredible journey of finding your way back.
The whiplash here is just insane. I mean, imagine it. You start a company in a garage, you build it into a $2 billion giant, and by the time you're 30, you're on top of the world. And then you get fired, publicly, from the company that you poured your soul into. It was, as he said, completely devastating.
But here's the amazing twist. After the initial pain wore off, Jobs realized that getting fired was kind of liberating. All that pressure of being Steve Jobs, CEO, was gone. He was free to just be a beginner again, with no expectations. And that freedom, he said, led to one of the most creative periods of his entire life.
And what a period it was. He started a new company called Next, then he launched another one you might have heard of, Pixar, which went on to make Toy Story and basically change animation forever. And then, in this unbelievable twist of fate, Apple ended up buying Next, which brought Jobs right back to where he started, but this time with the very technology that would save Apple and launch its incredible comeback.
So what's the big takeaway? Is that the only thing that got him through that public humiliation and failure was that he truly loved his work. That passion was the fuel. So his advice to us is urgent. You have to find what you love, because that's the only thing that's going to give you the strength to push through the hard times. Keep looking, and never, ever settle.
And that brings us to his third and final story. This one is probably the most profound. It's about using the biggest motivator of all, the fact that we're all going to die, as a tool to live a better, more honest life right now.
This is the question he asked himself every single morning, looking in the mirror for 33 years. Think about that discipline. And he said that if the answer was no for too many days in a row, he knew he had to change something. It's such a simple but brutally effective way to check in with yourself.
So why does this work so well? Because remembering that you're going to die is, as he put it, the best way to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. All that other stuff, what other people expect of you, your pride, your fear of looking stupid, it all just melts away. It gives you this crystal clarity about what actually matters. You are, in his words, already naked.
And he gives a warning about a specific trap he calls dogma. What is that? Well, it's basically living your life based on someone else's thinking. It's following a script that wasn't written for you. It's letting the noise and opinions of other people drown out your own inner voice.
This is really the heart of the third story. It's this urgent plea to remember that our time here is finite. It's not about being sad. It's about being focused. It's a call to find the courage to follow your own heart and your own intuition, because somehow they already know what you're meant to be.
So, you've got these 3 stories, connecting the dots, love and loss, and death. They seem pretty different, right? But when you put them all together, they create this really coherent, powerful blueprint for how to live a life that feels authentic and meaningful.
So, let's just sum it up. Lesson 1. Trust the journey. Have faith that your random interests and even your setbacks will make sense later. Lesson 2. Love what you do. Find your passion, because it's the only thing that'll carry you through the tough stuff. And lesson 3. Live with urgency. Remember that your time isn't infinite, so use that knowledge to be true to yourself.
He ended his entire speech with these 4 famous words, a quote from the back of an old magazine called The Whole Earth Catalog. Stay hungry, always be curious, always be learning, and stay foolish. Be willing to try things that other people think are crazy. Be willing to follow your heart, even if it takes you off the beaten path. It's really the perfect way to wrap it all up. A life lived with passion, curiosity, and courage.